Mr. Amit Dasgupta to please.
So thank you everyone for making into this session, and thank you for the lovely introduction, and thanks to Basis for giving me the opportunity to present ALM in front of all of you. So to start with, first let us see that what are some of the basic challenges of software development projects. So we have different, everybody who are aware of software development, we know that there are different stakeholders in an organization. The business itself, the vice presidents or the assistant vice presidents, the QA team, and the VP of the operations. And all of them have their different need. Like the business always try to look for innovation. Then the VPs or the production managers, they're all focused towards how we can improve our performance, how we can do it better, how we can do the production in a much faster way. Then the QA team is always looking for that looking into the quality, they are trying to figure out that how we can release a software with minimum number of defects, right? And then the operations, they have their own challenges, like let's say they have that, okay, so when something comes into production, it should not break the existing thing. So these are some of the basic challenges in any software development that we talk about. And as we all understand that any software development is complex in its own nature. So there are different reasons of complexities, like there are composite apps, like if you just think of applications like Facebook, applications like Flipkart, Amazon, they have regular updates, right? They have to have these regular updates because their schemes are changing, their offerings are changing, everything is changing. So that means the entire process is extremely complex from different aspects. Now, why these challenges and complexities? Why do all these things happen? So some of the major reasons, first of all, lack of real-time visibility into project status. From any perspective, if we don't have the real-time visibility that what is going on, how many defects are there currently, what is the development progress, whether the requirements are defined properly or not. If all these things are not clear, if the clarity is not there, then the problem comes in right at the beginning. Then ineffective team communication. It's not that one software gets developed by one single individual. It's a team effort, right? Many people are involved in that. So what happens that if there is not a good level of communication, that means lack of communication is there, then again that's a major problem point. Third major problem point is imbalance between business demands and project risk. The demands are always there. We as customers, if we talk about applications like Facebook and others, or if we talk about some serious enterprise applications, in both the areas, the customers are always demanding. And there comes the challenge of maintaining those demands, overcoming the project risks. Then unpredictable delivery times and quality. Now that is another big challenge. Why? Because if we don't know that when this will get delivered, let's say I'm trying to launch a product which has, let's say, 50 features, but I don't know when these features are coming up. And until unless I have this pure clarity that when to release this particular feature, it may happen in this competitive market that my competitor releases this feature and steals the market. So that is another big challenge. Then increasing product complexity. None of the products today are simple, right? Everything, because we are trying to make it complex. We are trying to take advantage as much as we can, creating it more complex. Now coming to a real life application development scenario, how it happens. So if you look into the image over here, you will see that there are different stakeholders, different departments, they are doing their own job. But the thing is that none of them are connected. Now what is the disadvantage? The person who is monitoring this entire thing, he has a lack of visibility, process automation, and traceability. He is completely in dark that what's going on, right? How things are moving. So everybody who is associated with software development, I think will agree with me that the managers run behind the developers or the testers or the individuals maybe at the middle of the night just to know that what is the progress, because they need to prepare their report for the management. Now how to solve this? In order to solve this, what is required? First of all, a centralized system that helps you. Helps you how? First, to connect the software teams for better collaboration, because that is one major thing that is needed. connect software tools for automated workflow. That means whenever the development, let's say a requirement is getting defined, as soon as it gets defined, it should let the developers know that the requirement definition is complete, now the development need to start. Again, when the development completes, immediately it should inform the testers that the development is complete and the testing needs to be done. So this automatic passing of information, that is what is needed. Then get a total visibility on project and release progress. That is very important. So now, coming to ALM, how a solution can be achieved through a proper ALM. So what ALM does, ALM basically connects all these particular, what ALM does, ALM basically connects all these disjoint dots. Okay, and once those dots are joined, what happens is, through this centralized tool, the barrier goes off and now the manager gets to see everything from the central interface. That means the project manager or maybe the person who is managing the entire portfolio, they can see the entire progress. The individual team can view the progress of the other teams from that one single central tool. So that is what we are looking for. I mean, that is something we think that it can actually solve. A centralized platform for application lifecycle management, which gives visibility to all the stakeholders and connects all the stakeholders into one single source of information. So now what is application lifecycle management all about? It is nothing but a supervision of software application from its initial planning through retirement. I know that one of my co-panelists will discuss in detail about what is ALM, so I will just give a touch up on it. So it is a set of defined process and tools that include definition, design, development, testing, deployment and management. So that is all about application lifecycle management, because whatever software we develop, at the end of the day, it is nothing but an application. And just like any other thing, like we human beings have our own life cycle. A butterfly has its own life cycle. A frog has its own life cycle. Similarly, every software or an application also has its own life cycle, right? And this managing this entire life cycle is all about ALM. That means efficiently manage the life cycle of this entire application. Now coming to the next point, how ALM helps. As of now, we know that why ALM is required. But in reality, how does it help? First of all, it increases productivity. How? It enforces best practices and standard processes. So let's say some big organizations like Infosys or Cognizant of India, if they are defining certain best practices, if the industry is defining certain best practices that a requirement should be defined using this type of process, ALM helps you to ensure that that is getting followed. Then establish single source of information and truth. As I was saying, that even all the information is getting stored in one single point, that means everybody can refer to one single source of information. There is no point of miscommunication between different teams or miscommunication about the information. Enhances cross-team collaboration, reduces costs and deliver high quality software faster. That means it satisfies the major motive of the industry. That means we need to come to the market faster with minimum amount of cost. Provides transparency to the customer in the entire process. That means on the other hand, the customer is no more in dark. If they have access to that central tool or if they have access to that central platform, they can view what is happening. They know that whatever they are getting, whatever requirements are getting developed, they have a clear idea on that. And then provides higher level of satisfaction for stakeholders and customers. So this is how ALM helps. Right? Now when we talk about stakeholders, we all know that it's not one single stakeholder, it's different stakeholders. So how do each of these stakeholders gets benefited? First of all, the executives or senior management of an organization, right? How do they get benefited? They get access, easy access to some online dashboards and reports, which is the main factor for them. They know that they have much better knowledge, they get much better knowledge that how many releases will be done. What is the predictability of that release? And ALM to them gives an improved productivity and quality at the level of 20 to 25%. And at the end, what the management looks for, a satisfied and happy customer. Frontline managers has their own benefit Like they always are updated on the project status and other things. They don't need to run around different persons that what is the status, I need to prepare my reports. This is how ALM benefits the frontline managers, gives them much more authority and much efficiency to control the entire process flow. And now the developers, I know our fellow panelists from Leeds will talk about that, how developers actually reap the benefits of ALM. But one major thing that I would like to talk about, that for the developers, the major benefit is when a proper ALM is in place, they know exactly what needs to be done and they can focus on their own job, that is writing the codes. Because their needs for going through different tools, going through different documents and all those things completely get eliminated. And their productivity gain is seen to be around 25 to 35%. And these figures are nothing but our analysis from the different industries that we have worked with. Then the testers, there also we have seen a productivity gain of 20 to 30% when they go through this proper ALM, because they are much more informed on how the development is going, what is getting developed, when is the next release coming up, so that they can keep their own testing plans and things ready, and their execution gets much more efficient through this proper ALM. Now coming to organizations like government organizations, where different departments are there and they give different requirements, right? So how do they work? Let's have a look. Now whenever a government goes for a project, generally what we see that they give, they float certain tenders, and those tenders are then used, right? And they generally come up, I mean, they get the proposals against that, and then the thing happens. So how it happens? First of all, different departments pose their requirements. And then based on all those requirements, it's somebody's duty to compile all those requirements and create a SRS document, and then from that the tender gets generated. So how these type of organizations like government or other organizations be a part of it? How can ALM help them? So how can they help them? So later, if you look into this picture, they are at the customer point and they have a visibility to the requirements. But the next part of it, that means once the requirement is defined, once the project has been given to somebody, assigned to somebody, they have no visibility that what's going on inside. So there is a red line on top of that. So the entire delivery, analysis, testing, coding, design, whatever is happening behind the wall is not visible to them. When this happens, when there is no proper ALM.
One of the fellow panelists over here. What is the common practice in government?
Well, thank you very much, Manju bhai. Basically, in government sector, the connection or regarding this ALM is, so far I have found that this is completely absent. Government sector, I should say, in government sector, that when they are doing outsourcing, I think for e-governance development and e-service development, kind of e-governance stuffs, they only know two, three things. One thing is, if somebody asks a government person how much budget they should consider for a project, they always say, as they don't understand what is the process going on behind the entire scene, entire life cycle, they say, can't it be developed by within 2 lakhs, within 5 lakhs, without any perceptions? Very easily they have given, they give such type of decisions. Okay, make it within 5 lakhs or make it within 7 lakhs. And another thing, recently, a few days back, in a forum, I asked some decision makers of few departments, so can you say, any of you, can you say me, how many persons are involved in a software development when you are developing a e-governance project? They could tell only 3 names: programmer, system analyst, and data entry operator. So you understand, they don't know the total process. I strongly believe that if they understand the ALM process as well, from their project management perspective, it would also help for the outsourcing companies and that government organization as well. Thank you very much.
Very well. What exactly my next image talks about, that in this image what you can see that there is a red line, right? What he was saying, that people are not aware that what is actually happening when it is getting developed. So once a proper ALM is there, nothing happens that the line goes off. And from the government or the customer get an entire visibility to the entire process. It's not only the requirements, but the entire process of the development. So that is what ALM does. And not only government, ALM for other sectors, let's say the banking sectors, they also have their own requirements, right? Because today in the banking sector also, I mean, irrespective of any sector, the competition is very high. So they have multiple requirements which they cater to. And those requirements needs to be managed efficiently. And that is where ALM contributes. It ensures that correct requirements are getting defined right from the beginning. Similarly for the telecom sector as well as for the support services sector. So it's not, this ALM is not about a single sector specific or anything. It is across every industry, and what it does is it actually helps or to improve the process at each and every industry. So now we talked about ALM, but nowadays I'm sure that most of you have heard about the term agility. With this increased competition, now organizations are not sitting idle that, okay, in the older days, first the requirements will get defined, then it will be designed, then the coding will happen, then testing, then release. Not the waterfall anymore. They are talking about agile. They are talking about agility. So these days, people are talking about Scrum. These days, people are about lean methodologies, and nothing, keeping it short, the basic idea is same, come to the market faster with efficiency and with quality. That is the basic motto, and that is what is Agile all about. It is just another process of ALM which helps you to come to the market faster, which gives the basic idea that don't develop everything right from the beginning and then deliver it at the end. Do it in short chunks and then get it delivered, and keep the customer involved right from the beginning to the end so that they are also aware of the entire progress. And not only that, after the agility, people are not even sitting on agility, now they are talking about DevOps. They are saying that, okay, every level we are talking about optimization, right? Coming to the market faster means nothing but we need to optimize our processes. Now how to optimize? Just with a short example, I will just end my session talking about DevOps. It's a small example that why DevOps is needed, because whenever we talk about DevOps, we talk about continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous testing and all those things. So just think that the areas where industries are focusing to optimize. Let's say a developer completes a code at 5 p.m. at the evening and then goes for leaves for home. So the testers will come to know that the development is complete only when he comes and opens his mailbox on the next day, or until the point he is communicated. So what this continuous testing, continuous integration and continuous delivery, what these things are doing? These things are doing that whenever a development is getting completed, it automatically, the testing these days are going for test automation. Certain scripts are written over there. So whenever the development is complete, the testing is happening automatically. So the next morning when the developers as well as the testers comes in, they are not getting just the information that the development is complete. They are having the test results in front of them, that till yesterday, whatever code was written, based on that, what testing has been done, how many defects are there, or whether everything is true or not. So that is the level of optimization industry is talking about. That is the thing DevOps is talking about. And DevOps is saying one more thing, that don't focus till the production is there, but make the operations people who is doing the maintenance job, doing the operations part, bring them together also and integrate those also, so that the dev and the ops can work together for the betterment of the industry. So I think that is it all about. Thank you.